announce it's Chandler Crump. Welcome to the show, Chandler. I
Had
think
to
you.
mute
Yep, there you
myself
go.
real quick. What's going on,
That's,
everybody? How you guys doing? I'm doing
oh
great.
man, Chandler, it is a pleasure to have you on my show. You are a spectacular young man. I had the pleasure to meet at the Walkaway event in Philadelphia, which you did a speech, right? It
Yeah,
was
spoke at the event. It was a great event. It was, I believe, it was in August, right? They got me
yep,
up there for that. Philadelphia is a beautiful city. Of course, they had
yeah,
all the mask mandates, so it was a very big culture shock because I'm originally from Georgia, which is a very free state when it comes to all those mask mandates and all that stuff. So it was a big culture shock, of course, to take a flight and have to wear a mask on the flight. And then I had a run-in with police officers who actually were like, put the mask on. I was like, what? It was a big thing, but being up
wow,
in Philadelphia was great no matter what because we were right in the center of it all, which is a really historical place in our nation. And it was really
yeah.
nice to be able to speak to all the people there and just sort of, feel the pride, feel the history and the respect of liberty and the Constitution that in that city.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. For those who don't know, we both it was basically set up right in front of Independence Hall, which of course is where they wrote the Declaration of Independence, and
Yeah.
it was definitely incredible. So you're 16 now, correct?
Yeah. I
So
turned
you're
16 just last month.
man. So you just turned 16. You're speaking at walkaway rallies. You're political. You're probably the youngest political person I know. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I'm still learning the political realm, but you're quite outspoken. Like, how did you get into politics in the first place?
Yeah, so I've always had a sort of deep-seated interest in politics. I'd always listen to the news. It would always be running in the living room of my house because my
Okay.
family was always very interested in just sort of hearing everything that was going on. We always try to stay as connected as possible. So those values really seeped into me. But it really only started in the presidential election of 2016. So in 2015, Herman Cain actually came by into my city, and so my family and I went to visit him. And this was during his presidential, or no, not Herman Cain. No, I'm mixing up. Oh,
Ben
I'm sorry.
Carson.
Yes, Ben Carson. I can't believe I
Okay.
mixed. No, I'm thinking of Herman King because I just saw him on Twitter, but it was Ben Carson. Sorry, that was a bad flub. But it was Ben Carson. He came by
Okay.
during that presidential run, and we got some books signed by him, and it was great to meet somebody and sort of look up to him and see, well, dang, he's running for something. He can do it. Who else can? And so, of course, then later on, we saw Trump running. And
Yeah.
I did not like Trump. I thought he was crazy because I really believed and sort of sold into what the media said. But then after he won, and this was after he won, I was like, how can somebody who the media had portrayed as so crazy actually win the election? So I did some more research into President Trump and found out all the lies that the media sold me. And I was
Yeah.
like, dang, I was young then. I was like 12 or 13 at the time. And I was like, dang, the media was able to sell me all these things. I can't trust the media anymore. And from then on,
Wow.
I started doing all my own research. And I believe in 2017 or so, I fully came out as a Trump supporter and as a conservative once I started to learn more and more about what that meant. But then 2017 and 2016 was really only the beginning for it. 2018 was where it really started. Of
Yeah.
course, I know you weren't really plugged in, but 2018 was one of the biggest years, uh, honestly, in a lot of history. Kanye West, of course, came out. He said, love the way Candace Owens thinks. And Candace Owens used that platform to start a whole entire movement about Black people becoming free from the Democratic mindset, becoming free from the sort of idea that if you're Black, you have to be a Democrat. Kanye West sort of helped sow that entire movement. She started working with some organizations, and then she launched Blexit. And then in that same year, Brandon Strauch started Walk Away. There was just all these big movements that started. And the
Yeah.
culmination of that was, for me, YBLS 2018, which was an event in Washington, D.C. that I attended. And they had enough connections that they were actually able to get us to go and meet President Trump in the White House. So
Oh, you've met
yes.
President Trump.
Oh, a few times,
Wow.
but that was the first
A few
time.
times. An
So
awesome rightful flex there, I gotta say.
yes. I don't like to flex it too often, but it's very important to
It's
speak about
allowed.
because
It's
yes.
allowed.
So I was standing there as a 14-year-old in the East Room of the White House with President Trump speaking to me and
Wow.
400 other young Black leaders. And at that moment, I was like, dang, I can really do something. So that
Wow.
entire weekend, it was a very powerful weekend with YBLS. And then Walk Away had a march that same weekend, which was really great to see as well. And at that moment, or after that event, in fact, I remember we were driving home from the event. I was sitting in the car and I was like, if they can do it, they got 400 young Black leaders into the White House in front of our president, Candace Owens, and all these other speakers and organizers who were able to make all these things happen can do it, then what's stopping me? I realized at that moment that I didn't have to wait until I was 20 or 30 years old to make my debut into politics. I could do it right now because it doesn't matter how old you are. All that matters is what you're able to do, what you're able to inspire in the movement, what you're able to think about and truly make into action, turn your words into action and really do something. And so that's when I started my Twitter account and started, getting out there. And then it just started to grow from there. And that's kind of how I got to where I am now. But I think it's very important to mention that starting story to show to anybody that it's possible. No matter how old you are, you can do it.
That is amazing. Now, I don't normally do this mid-interview, Chandler, but this is important. I'm going to spin the UFO for you. This is I don't know if you know much about my show, but I spin the UFO for specific reasons, okay? And that was amazing. I've been saying for a long time about how we need younger people into government because government makes the rules for life. Like that's just kind of how it works. It's almost like the people in government want to keep everyone out so that they can pick and choose who they want to be in control. And that is ridiculous to me, So when I see someone like you, it is inspiring to know that there is hope in the younger generations. What you just said, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. Like that is what we need. We need people exactly like you realizing I don't need to wait. And in fact, most people don't even wait. They're like, other people are going to do it. I have enough stuff on my plate, which most of the time is true. But the fact remains, we are all affected by what the politicians are doing. So if you turn a blind eye, that's you just letting them make the rules for you. Everyone should be a part of the conversation, and especially like what you're saying. I tagged you on Twitter. I don't know if you saw the post, but I did hashtag future president. I'm calling you out a little bit, all right? But if you become president one day, I'm going to be like, yeah, I called that.
I think a lot of people will say they called that because I've had people saying that about me since before I even stepped into politics. I remember it was like April 2018, right after Kanye West retweeted Candace Owens, and I was like, dang, I really like this. I was talking to my friends, and then I believe I was out somewhere, and I was just talking to them, and this adult came up to me and was like, I hear what you're talking about, and I agree with you. I don't know much about you. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, but I feel like you're going to be a future president someday. And I was like, thank you so much. This was before I even stepped into politics, was even a figure. It was just like a random event. I wasn't even, it was a really random thing where someone came up to me and just said that to me. And I was just like, that's interesting.
Wow. Yeah, you can do it. It's funny that, of course, when Kanye came out and, endorsed, well, I guess not endorse is a weird
promoted.
choice. He promoted Candace Owens, Candace Owens, what a boss.
Yes.
But it's interesting. Of course, they started spinning him in the worst light ever. He was having emotional breakdowns. Oh my gosh, Kanye West. It's like, no, you're just afraid of his message.